Okay, let's take a look at this real quick. Now, I know this character from when I was a youngster going in to my teenage years. Christina Applegate. This was Kelly Bundy on Married with Children. See right here, next to Father Al. So she unleashes a raw, probing memoir, and it's called You with the Sad Eyes. Now, this memoir was released March 3rd, so we're on March 4th as I'm recording right now. So this was released Tuesday, March 3rd. Chronicles her life from child stardom to surviving cancer and living with MS, which is multiple sclerosis. Published by Little, Brown and Company. It uses diary entries to detail her journey, including an abusive childhood, Hollywood experiences, and an abortion at age 19. So look at this right here. You see? Hollywood, childhood, abusive. Right there. 3 words in a row. You see that right there? Now, this is why I put this slide in here, because I think some of these stars, regardless of what she states in the memoir or not, she was sexualized in that show, and she was portraying a high schooler, right? Okay? Right? So think about like the Epstein stuff that's been trending. Okay, the Diddy situation, all of that energy. And I think this is why a story like this is trending, even though there may not be specifics. Do you understand? It's that energy. And think about like Justin Bieber and some of maybe the characters connected to Disney. So other than the connections I'm going to show you that make you scratch your head and be like, that's interesting how this comes right now. But just think about that energy, okay? And as we go forward here, let's play this. Hopefully it lets me play this on YouTube here.
Those things that I wrote in those diaries and my journals were locked in a box. I never wanted anyone to see them. And for some reason, I was like, all right, let's open it up.
What made you change your mind?
Because I know there's a lot of people who have been abused, and
Think about it, though. That goes with everything I just said. And, she may be revealing truth here, but maybe not pinpointing it. You understand? Or maybe pointing the finger at Hollywood when it comes to this stuff, right?
I've lived like really hard times, and I just felt like I'm here for you.
One of those times, what Christina says, was an abusive relationship, which left her fearing for her life.
I remember him sitting there. I remember how scary he was. It was, look at my hands. I can't, it's hard to talk about.
There's so many women who find themselves in that situation, and people are like, why did you stay?
You're told a lie. He said, no one's ever going to love you the way I love you. And at some point, you're...
Imagine if that's like a Hollywood character putting her in that situation, right? Not saying it was Ed O'Neill, who was Al Bundy, her father on the show. Not saying that. But just imagine if it was a character involved with one of these, say with Married with Children, the show that she became famous as Kelly Bundy. Imagine that. So that would be what I'm talking about this energy and them maybe possibly getting some truths out with these characters, okay?
You're either so scared or you just believe it, that you're not worthy enough for any other kind of love. I really, really, really feel so deeply that I wanted to share, because I know how many women get themselves into an abusive relationship, and society says, like, well, I'm a strong woman. I would have.
Okay, so we're going to go back over here now. We're going to go back over here. So again, she's got the new memoir, and she's speaking about abuse and stuff. I haven't read it, obviously. And let's look again what the difference. What's the difference between a memoir and a book? A memoir is a specific type of book, meaning all memoirs are books, but not all books are memoirs. The fundamental difference is that a memoir is a nonfiction first person narrative. Okay? So, we can get that established. And check this out, because we hit with this 91 one more time here. 98, excuse me. So, the memoir releases March 3rd, and that is 98 days after her birthday. This number 98 has been showing itself a lot lately. NAACP Image Awards equals 98. Dion Cole trending for being the host. And I simply took this slide from that trending story because we've had a few of these 98s. That's also Deion Sanders' birthday, the 9th day of the 8th month, 98. He just had a quarterback die, trending. Dominique Ponder. Okay, so that's another trending story that connects to Deion Sanders, and you also get the 98. So you get two 98 connections right there. Now it syncs up here 98 days after her birthday. Christina Applegate, this memoir is released. Notice how the book, it says right here, is 304 pages. Okay, let's open this up. 304 pages. As I speak right now, it's the 3rd month and the 4th day. 1 month after this release. So 304 trending on 3/4. And it is interesting talking about 304 and promiscuous women, isn't it? Think about her character as Kelly Bundy. That is interesting. And you flip 304, the digits over, and it's ho, right? That's kind of interesting. Again, no offense to anybody out there who has ever been abused. I'm saying I'm decoding a fake world right here. Now, here's some more 98s, because Queen Elizabeth II's death date, 9/8. Why does that factor in here? Because her son, former Prince Andrew, Duke of York, look, connected to Epstein. So you see how this just cycles back around to what I was just talking about. He was arrested, okay, in connection with giving secretive information to Epstein or whatever. That was trending, and still a trending topic. His mom's got the 9/8 right there. Okay. Even I mentioned the Deion Sanders connection. Dominic Ponder, the quarterback, backup quarterback at Colorado, he died 89 days after his birthday. So that's that 89, 98. One more time. Speaking of the Christina Applegate birthday, real quick, that 11/25, November 25 birthday, that's a couple of days difference with her and Snooki from Jersey Shore, who was, look, cervical cancer, which relates to like infections in that area. Look, her birthday is 2 days before Christina Applegate. Look at that. So that's another connection as well. So, it makes you think, what possibly could have happened with Snooki. She is still a part of the Hollywood scene, and she even, didn't she have the shirt? She even had the shirt that said "I'm a slut" and all of that. So you kind of see how a lot of this stuff connects. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she was given that wardrobe as well. Well, I guess I can't say I'm 100% sure. But their birthdays are 2 days apart. She's trending cervical cancer. So do you follow me a little bit here? Okay. And, kind of back to this memoir, I mentioned the 304 page book releases on the day leaving 303 days in the year. And Christina Applegate in the language equals 302. So look how close that is. You even see the 304 over here again. 304, 303, and 302. The release, the amount of pages, and her name in the language, all within one number. Okay, there's probably more with her name here that could be decoded as well, right? Christina Applegate. There's probably more with that as well. You with the sad eyes in the language has the 83 like Applegate. Letters are converted into numbers, and it's a fact that you're going to get that 83 using the ordinal cipher and the reverse reduction cipher. That even landed. I must not have put it in there. That lands also with the death of the Colorado backup quarterback. I'll just pull it up and show you right here. It might be in there. I might have just put it in the wrong spot, but let me scroll down because you get that 8338 with Dominic right there, Ponder. You see Colorado equals 83 and 38. Colorado quarterback equals 83. You see that? And even Shador Sanders, who was the primary quarterback. Did I say that right? Primary? The main quarterback at Colorado, Shador Sanders, and even his birthday's the 38th day of the year. Ponder was the backup there. So look at that 83, 38, 83 right there. Right? You see that? So those are both trending stories. Okay? And the 83 lands. Even the 227, You with the Sad Eyes. That's the name of this memoir. Okay? Ponder died 2 months and 27 days after his birthday. which is the same as 89 days. You see? So the 89 connects, and then it's even the same as 227. So you with the sad eyes, 227 connecting there to the quarterback. And then back here with the 89, right? Connecting with the 98 with her birthday and this memoir release after her birthday. Come on, man. Oh, there it is right there. Right? And you know what? Applegate with the 160 and 43 over here. I think that connects to Shador Sanders as well. Let's go over here real quick. Shador Sanders. Look, 160. Oh, and his name has the 83 as well. So undeniable. Look at the 160 with Shador Sanders. And then 160 with Applegate right there. See that? You know, and remember, he was the quarterback at Colorado. His birthday's 2/7, which is like 227. He was the lead quarterback at Colorado over Ponder. Okay. You see? Undisputed lead quarterback over Dominic Ponder during his time with the Buffaloes. Now, you know, Ponder dies and you see this connection, right? Even Christina equals 61, and this memoir is released on the 62nd day of the year. You know, you cannot, and you know, 160 is kind of like 61. You get the 6 and the 1. Come on, right? It's freaking undeniable. Does Colorado have the 43? Even Colorado has that 43 right there. Colorado's got the C like Christina even. Applegate 43. Boom. You know. Come on, right? Undeniable. The industry.
No.
This is not your typical celebrity memoir.
No.
There are some very sad stories in here, some very dark stories. You've been through a lot of stuff. But you really, I mean, really, even like I think that's a good example, you coming out with the flu and making a joke out of it. You really are great at keeping, having a positive outlook for things that a lot of people, like myself, would not feel positive about. Do you think that's true?
It's very hard for me to say that like I have a positive outlook.
All right, we'll skip that footage right there. Okay? What do you think about that? Married with children. Okay? That's why we know her. That's exactly why we know her. And they put probing in there. That's interesting. Right? And you know, I'm not dissecting everything about this character. Like I said, I didn't read the memoir. Look at this. Multiple sclerosis has the 227. Look at that on the fly right there. Multiple sclerosis 227, and you with the sad eyes, the name of the memoir 227. You can't tell me that that's not a script. You can't tell me that that's not a script. You see, we could go up and down and dissect this. Wow, that's amazing. Living with multiple sclerosis. I mean, that's just the biggest hit right there. I don't even have to try to show you this script. Okay? It's, you know, raunchy, married with children. You see that right there? Kelly Bundy, raunchy. Look, teenager, sexualized, right? Oh, look, there's Anthony Anderson, and we just connected. There's Anthony Anderson from Blackish, and we just connected Dion Cole. with that 89-98 connection. Look at that. There's Anthony Anderson. Fake world, man. Until next time.